Hello and welcome to my meditation. Thank you for joining us. My name is Debra Baker and we are going to begin with 3 nice deep breaths. And so with each breath, allow the oxygen or the air to go just a little more deeply in your belly. Really fill up your belly. Hold it for a second and then nice slow exhale. And one more time. Really fill up all of your torso. There. And we know that we are infinite beings having a spiritual experience, because that's what we are, as infinite spirit, but we are also having a human experience. And that seems to be kind of the juggling act that we sign up for when we decide to become human for a while. And of course we decide that before we come into these lives. When we are in the oneness, we are one with all beings, we are one with the God, the one presence and the one power, one with our guardian angels and spirit guides, one with all the loved ones that we knew when we walked the planet together, and all of our ancestors, and all of our future descendants. All beings except for those of us walking Earth, and who knows what other possibilities they are, but all beings are in the oneness. And so before we come in, we feel this kind of sense of togetherness and connection, and then we come into these human lives where we are in separate bodies trying to kind of figure this out. And speaking of bodies, let's begin by relaxing our bodies. So I hope that you are in a comfortable position, and if you aren't yet, I suggest that you get in one. And let's think about just imagining all of our muscles just go into a neutral position. Let's begin with our hands. And I've been doing this thing maybe since the beginning of the year, this kind of tense and release. I remembered it, learning it when I was pregnant with my first daughter, which was 39 years ago. And I remember that it was really helpful in getting relaxed during childbirth. So what you do is you tense the muscles first and then you let them go. And they seem to be more prepared or more able, more ready to relax. So let's begin with our hands, and let's just kind of clench our hands, just, as much as you want. You don't have to pulverize them or, become uncomfortable. Just squeeze your hands a little, take a deep breath. And then as you exhale, let your hands go and just notice how good it feels, how good your hands feel. And then we're going to move up our body. So pull your fingertips toward your shoulders so that you're tensing these muscles on the insides of your arms, and tighten those up. Deep breath, and then release them, and then go the opposite way so that you're tightening the muscles on the tops of your forearms. Tighten them up, and then let them go. And now let's do the biceps. Tighten up your biceps. Pull your fists to your shoulders. Tighten it up. Let it go, and then do the opposite. Straighten your arms and pull your arms back to tighten your triceps. Just notice how good that feels. Let's move up to our heads and kind of tighten up all the muscles in your face. Whether you want to pucker like you just ate a lemon, or whether you want to, kind of draw your finger, however you want to do it. Just pull your facial muscles tight for a breath, and then let them go. Raise your eyebrows a little. Puff your cheeks out for a second. Let your jaw relax. And then we're going to do it 4 times around our necks, because our necks is where we hold a lot of tension. So starting with, this is my right. I don't know which way. Sometimes when you're looking at a video, it's backwards, but it doesn't matter. Just go to one side, pull your shoulder up to your ear, and tighten all these muscles in here. Squeeze it like you're squeezing a lemon in there, and then let it go. And then go to the back. Just do the back very gently, because the backs of our necks are delicate. Just squeeze a little bit. And then to the other side, squeeze your shoulder up to your ear, like you're squeezing a lemon in there. And then forward, imagine there's a little lemon or a tangerine underneath your chin, and kind of squeeze it. And notice how powerful that is for relaxing your neck. And now we're going to bring both of our shoulders up, and what we're doing now is relaxing the shoulders. So pull your shoulders up. This helps with your upper back and upper chest. Pull them up, deep breath. Let them go. And now pull your shoulders to the back, like you're squeezing a pencil between your shoulder blades. Squeeze for just a second. Let them go, and then do it to the front. If you want, hug yourself. Just squeeze. Yeah, we need more hugs. Deep breath, and then let it go. Oh, doesn't that feel good? So let's move down to our rib cage. So imagine kind of like tightening in the muscles in the front of your rib cage for a breath, and the back of your lower rib cage. And now your tummy, pull your tummy in, pull your sides, and pull your back in. Do your midsection all at once, like you're squeezing it all in. And then let it go, and then go down into your pelvis, and just pull your muscles around your lower back, your hips, your lower torso. Just pull it all in for a second, and then let it go. And now let's work on the pelvic floor. So all your glutes, all the muscles you're sitting on, like I said, your pelvic floor all around your tailbone, your sit bones, and tighten it up for a second, and then let it go. Now we'll do the upper legs. So that's again in 2, just like your arms, the fronts of your upper legs, your quads. Tighten those up for a second and let it go. And then your hamstrings. Tighten those up and let them go. And then your lower legs. Point your toes so you're tightening up your calves. And then pull your toes toward your knees so you're tightening up your shins. And the last thing is, you can either push your feet together or curl your toes under like you curled your fingers under. Just tense your feet up however you want and let it go. All right, so now take a deep breath and just feel your whole body let go. Oh, doesn't that feel wonderful? And so my guides are telling me that what we're going to focus on tonight, we were talking, or today, whatever time it is you're listening to this meditation, what we talked earlier about that we are infinite beings, and the thing is, part of us is always in the oneness. Our souls, our spiritual selves, our infinite selves, our higher selves, whatever phrase works for you. Excuse me. Part of us is always in the oneness because there's way more to our spiritual selves than can fit into a human body. I don't care how big your body is, your soul is bigger. So let's relax into that idea for a minute. There's much more to you than you realize. Another way to say it is you have power you are not using. So imagine what you would do if you really thought that you were powerful. If you really thought that you could call in more of your infinite self into your human experience. You can. And so let's focus on that this evening. What would you do? Every once in a while I have these days, and I'm not quite sure what to do with this, but I have these days where traffic gets out of my way, and I don't have a siren on top of my car, and I'm not driving like a crazy woman. It's just traffic gets out of my way. People are in my lane, and they'll get out of it. If I change lanes, people get out of that lane. It is crazy. I make every light. It's like this energy goes ahead of me and clears the path for me. And one time I was driving a pretty far distance in Kansas City, and I said to my husband, because I was driving, "Did you notice how everybody keeps getting out of our way?" And he said, "I did notice that." And I said, "Yeah, it's been going on for me all day." And so imagine, somewhere along the line I must have asked for that or allowed that to happen, welcoming it in. And there's so much more potential than something as simple as, hassle-free driving. So let's imagine that we do have myriad spirit guides and guardian angels. And they are there to help us. Imagine it's like you have hired this staff of, a dozen people. And they report to work every morning, or, they're there 24/7. And you don't give them anything to do. And they're just sitting around bored, like, well, when's you going to ask us to do something? So they come up with ideas, maybe it was their idea to open up traffic just to remind me, something. There's a power greater than me. But what if you ask them? Because they'll do what you ask, as long as it's not going to harm you or someone else. And sometimes we don't know what will harm us, so we ask for something and it doesn't happen and we feel frustrated. But there's a bigger picture, and when we trust divine order, which is the bigger picture, then we can relax and know that all of our spirit guides and guardian angels, the universe itself has our back. So the guides are suggesting that we look at difficult relationships. And we talked about this in the last meditation a little bit, about people who are hard to love. So let's imagine that we can send our spirit guides to communicate with their spirit guides in this infinite place and create healing that seems to be beyond our power to create. I can think of several people in my life, or not several, but some. My mother was one of them, and no matter what I seemed to do, the rules changed and something was wrong about what I did the next time. And this was growing up and when I was an adult. And, I didn't have these tools then to know to ask my spirit guides to communicate with hers. Although I think in some way my prayers, I did ask for something similar, because I seemed to grow in compassion for her as she and I got older. And I feel like I understood her a little better, and I wasn't, as judgmental as a teenager or a person in their early 20s is of their parents. So maybe it was just getting older. So imagine, let's think about for a second, someone you know that is hard to love, that you really want to love. And just ask your spirit guides to communicate with their spirit guides without an agenda. Just let them talk and get back with you. Asking your guides to keep you safe. Picturing the white light, so that's the brightest, whitest light you can imagine, engulfing, surrounding yourself, your house, your car. If you fly in an airplane, surrounding the airplane or a bus or a boat, or however you travel, however you get from here to there, imagine that the white light is surrounding you at all times. And that white light, of course, is the white light of the infinite. So it's another way to use some of that power that you have, that your soul has, that you're not using. So let's just take a moment and just relax into that idea. And I will try really hard to be quiet. To relax into the idea that there is way more to me than I thought. There are lots of books written on manifestation, and there's one, I think it's E squared, where you are supposed to, or maybe it's E cubed, I don't know, I can't even think of the author's name at this point. We did it in my church a few years ago. It was our fall faith book. But you're supposed to ask the universe to provide you with a feather, and there was a time frame, like in the next week or the next 2 days or 24 hours or something. And then when it shows up, which it usually does, then it's like, oh, the universe is listening. So let's imagine that the universe is listening right now. And just allow yourself to think of your deepest heart's desire. And know that the universe heard you. And you can let it go. And then watch how the universe works to bring it to you, to bring it into reality, to manifest it for you. And let's take one more deep breath and admit to ourselves that we are worthy of our heart's desire. We deserve all the goodies. So I invite you over the next week to ponder the idea that there's way more to you than you realize. And I promise next week there's going to be some really awesome photos after the meditation, and I'm going to have some news to tell you. It's only exciting to me. But, when we share someone else's joy, when we share our joy is doubled. And when we share someone else's joy, we get to experience joy that, was unexpected. So I hope that in the next week you experience lots and lots of joy and love and peace. And remember that you really are whole and perfect exactly as you are. And I see the God in you. The God in me sees the God in you. Namaste.